Hello, hello, people of the internet. How is it all going today? Just double checking some things real quick before I flip over. Also letting the bass drop come in too if it comes. I have no idea, haven't heard the song before. I think it's coming. There's the bass drop. Right, turn that down. Hello and welcome to another match review, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I do know I had to edit in the week one, the number one, if you haven't noticed that, because it already switched to week two when I tried to do a screenshot of this. But yes, we're doing a match review of the game I casted last week between ROFS and SaP. This was a 40s match that I casted where ROFS did end up winning. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's probably the game of the season so far, in my personal opinion. But I'm just gonna turn on the music a little bit more. My own personal liking. Double checking. Ah, damn it, I fucked up. Okay, there we are. Well, I just got to readjust some things real quick on my end. All right. So yeah, so this is the map Utah with WN4 as the mid cap that they played on. Will be on the ROF side of things, so they're gonna get a little bit more critique than SaP, but I'll still try to critique and point out some things SaP did well and did not do well. Oh my god, I keep messing up my draw tool on my second monitor. All right, there we are. We are going to be fine. All right, so this is the map that their ROFS is basically their opener. I think this is 15 seconds before the map map wall flip. Oh, hey Spoon, how's it going? So this is like their opener, and one thing I don't understand is this supply truck way down in the south. I understand that, you know, this is a terrible map layout for ROFS and probably the best map layout for SaP. For them to be playing this on, but god damn it, dude, I hate this thing sometimes. But let's adjust this a little more. So yeah, like I don't understand the supply truck down here in the south, or why this truck is coming out with like 15 seconds left to go in the HQ. This is a 40s match, so things are a bit different, even more so I think than 35s. I would like to see this truck right here probably go up right there. I'm just going to change the color to blue real quick just to get what I am trying to communicate. Let's change if I can change it. Oh my god, do I really have to adjust the entirety of the percentage of the... All right, there we are. So I would change this truck up here. Oh my god, that's actually the opacity. Whatever, I don't care. So this blue truck I would probably put kind of where Butcher's at right now. The reason being is if you're trying to have this truck go to Grandma's house, this truck should be going to Grandma's house, to be completely honest. I think this truck should also crash mid, and this truck crash mid as well up from the north. I forget if that happens or not. I did not watch this game back. That's one thing I would change on the opener, not using the recon tank. That's, I think, fine-ish in 40s. I know I casted a game yesterday between 48th and Panzerlier, where 48th brought out 4 tanks for their opener in 30s, which I think is insane. Didn't pan out for them in the opener, but that's a new one for me. So we'll just get this going. As you can see, a bunch of people rocket sniping for ROFS. Obviously, that's something that you're going to want to do. I feel like it might be a little bit too much on the rocket snipes for 40s, but I don't know. ROFS probably knows something that I don't know. But then the match does start. I don't think any wall snipes do happen. As you can see, SaP also going to do some rocket snipes as well. I think I do try to follow them in. As you can see, SaP bringing, if I can pan over it to it a little bit. ROFS maybe a little bit early on their truck snipes, but as you can see, they do bring 2 trucks, one kind of going along the main road and one going map edge. That's pretty normal, and I assume they do have one probably somewhere over here as well, so it's pretty standard from SaP. I see more rockets going back and forth. So they do bring this truck for hard cap. Okay, so that is what I thought that you guys would do. I would just bring that truck more north, just because you do waste 2 to 3 seconds driving more north than directly to point. Guys is dropping a box. Tunnel rat probably gonna help build. So nothing too crazy quite yet. One thing I do also want to point out is, wait, where's this truck at? This truck on the main road, I would honestly prefer this truck if I can find it. If this truck that's on the south actually try to crash like right here, just because you get a little bit more of a crossfire and you get to challenge this, I forget what this building's called, but you get to challenge that a little bit more. Because if you don't challenge this early, this is just all free ground that SaP or the allies can take, because they can easily push up to here and hold this, and then if they hold this point right here, they can just crossfire down to where the Axis are pushing. I have died on this road in this section many times in scrims and in competitive games before, just from people holding this area right there. 2-story. Half the buildings are 2-story, Rum. But thank you for joining the stream. SaP crashing hard cap. Not too surprising. They do have a truck going grandmas. Yeah, I feel like if this truck was more in line, this truck would have been here already. Do have good grandmas control from ROFS. Obviously, SaP is loading up the hell out of the soft cap or hard cap. And this is unfortunate right here. What happens to Donut, I think, is he dies before he gets his OP. I would honestly I almost want to say crash the truck, like drive the truck this way. I mean, this is like an ultra critique, is driving the truck through here instead of going this way. Just because you have the opportunity to place your OP behind this house or these hedges, and it's less of a chance to get arty. This right here is arty heaven for the allies. Also 3 SLs in one spot. I mean, one died, but you know, 2 OPs right here. Essentially, I'm just gonna mark 2 random spots, but that's gonna be really tough to take ground off of, because I think Officer Down is trying to... Yeah, so they do... Is that just the recon OP? I don't know why the OPs are so messed up half the time. Oh, did you guys lose 2 SLs off that truck? Also, what is brain right there? I almost want to say also place an OP in this trench if you're Axis. This is rarely contested. This trench line right here, rarely is that contested, like, ever. So even just placing 1 OP right here, I think can pay dividends for Axis. Even though it's, you know, you can easily get shot out of it. But nice garrison layout from ROFS. You guys did lose 2 OPs? Oh, that's so unfortunate. Like I said, like, that also just comes down to maybe the truck, you know, it could clip something for like a second or 2, or, you know, you just drive maybe a second or 2 slower, and that's the difference between, you know, placing your OP and not, or getting hit by arty and not. This is... why is there a supply truck all the way back here? That is wild. Trying to look at some stuff. Like, this isn't bad, it's just very unfortunate that those 2 SLs did go down. I think Blitzkrieg is going to place a proxy satchel onto the barn, which is a good move, except I think he just died the arty. Getting a notification on my phone. Yeah, so only one OP, that is rough. L doesn't have an OP. D doesn't have an OP. I'm being very hypercritical. Will do that this entire time. If you're this is just a thing for Officer Down and Whispers of Death. When it's this much cap weight, and like once it gets to 75% cap onto any point and you're losing, like even if it's mid cap or if it's later in the game and you're kind of pushed up away from your OP, you have to realize that you can't push up anymore, and you have to kind of reset yourself back to where your OP is, because if these two do go down and the cap does flip, they will lose their OPs and lose their cap progress. I think Officer Down is doing a good job just falling back. Whispers of Death doing the same thing, so that is good to see. Officer Down going to see you do lose this SL over here, so that is huge from this AT player. I am not going to say his name because I'm just going to butcher it. But good play from Officer Down. Starbucks probably placing his down. SAP, good position. They do hold this north with, I think they're medium. I think that's their medium. I can't really tell. Yeah, that is their medium. Dingo in the back line. Taking out a Stewart that got stuck in a trench. A little unfortunate for SAP. And Penguin just being a nuisance. I'm very surprised at this P4. It's kind of hard to tell because I feel like the goal for each team's medium tank, now obviously this goes by every team's strategy, but usually the goal for each medium tank crew is to take out the enemy medium. I'm surprised that either team didn't do that. Obviously it's their opener, so you know, you might not be able to kill the medium for 15-20 minutes even. But Starbucks, I think the lone OP now on the front line, but I think it just got wiped by the medium tank again, and this is why this medium needs to challenge this P4, or the P4 needs to challenge the Sherman, which I think he is right now. An unfortunate miss. This, I thought he actually like ricocheted off of him in the moment. Like he hops out and eats the round. That's what I thought happened. I swear I thought that's what happened, but like I think it just hit a you just got a non-pen kill. I'm just gonna speed to 1.75 so people can complain about things. Now we go to, what is this? Roughly 9 minutes after match start. Pretty much all hard cap for ROFS. Nothing grandmas at all. Honestly, I would prefer someone to be down here by the Rat City, as people call it, down in this sector, and then kind of slowly push up while also pushing up teams like that. Obviously, it's 40s, so it's easier said than done. You do have 2 rats in the HQs for mediums and heavy tanks and all that jazz. Also trying to think real quick. So I guess the supply truck was for these 2 garrisons. I just feel like these are pointless if you don't cap mid, and WN4 is one of those points where it's a recap point for Axis. You rarely cap it first. If you do cap it first, it's usually from the other team getting out-fragged early, someone hitting a snipe, or some other third thing. But I just probably more people far south. I mean, LeGrand Creek's a rough point to hold. Obviously, you don't want them to get a garrison on your front door if you are ROFs. Truck spawn in the point. Yeah, I know. Don't place OPs on the hedge. This should be probably placed back here. Again, I will be hypercritical. Duty with the only OP in, or Duty and Donut, only OPs in point, I hope. Looks like they only have one. Maybe. Just no one grandmas. Somehow ROFs are capping the point. Just due to pure hard cap. Then SAP gonna call basically everyone back to mid cap. Mostly it's the Lukes in the point. Trying to think what I was gonna say. Go back a little bit. Did you guys have a second Lux? I thought you guys had a second Lux, but usually, I don't know. I would probably have brought this P4 if you killed the medium. I forget if you did kill the medium. Instead of it holding this sector right here, either bring it to the barn where the Lux is, maybe not exactly, maybe bring it on this side of the barn, and then bring that Lux or the P4 right here, just so your infantry can move up to this sector. Because if you bring your P4 right here, and your Lux maybe just still right here, P4 and Lux can pretty much lock down all of this without a problem, and then your infantry can, you know, slowly leak in this way, leak in around here, and then kind of hold this, because there are going to be people coming from Grandma's. Hey, Snow. This was a fun game. This was game of the year. Well, probably not year, but at least game of week 1 for sure. Yeah, so I just feel like, because I feel like this P4 is a little bit useless because you can't see over here. They're just kind of looking right here, and if you just look on that main road and kind of where Whispers of Death is, like, this is just not a good spot to hold. You're kind of just letting SAP get free cap weight from this barn and this little sector, and they just place, you know, 2 proxy satchels right here, that Lux will die. I mean, you still have this OP, which is great, but with already hitting down on it, and then, you know, infantry slowly moving up, it's only a matter of time before that, you know, the OP does get wiped. Without, you know, if this P4, instead of moving in right here, helping challenge by pushing right here, kind of, you know, locks down all of this. You know, you just got the lockdown sectors, because now this P4 is generally being useless right now. I think the Lux is still up too, but the Lux is being more impactful than the P4. P4 is just there for cap weight at this point. But even still, P4 spot is only, I'd say, such a waste, and she could kill it. Yeah, I mean, just look at the map right now. Just 1 OP, or, I mean, 2 OPs, essentially. I mean, this cap is not gonna, you're not gonna cap with this anyways, usually. Just because you also don't have Grandma's control. But, I don't know, just locking up those little sections. It's like those little things as the Lux does go down to probably infantry. Tigers is being brought up. Garrison Network, still very, very nice for defense and all that jazz, but yeah, like ants surrounding like a hot dog. I know Snow likes that reference. Would love to see like an MG right here from ROFs. Just more MG usage. Like, you really only need like 1 or 2 MGs just like watching this field from right here, or even right here, just to make sure there's no like sneaky crosses, or, you know, they don't, you know, even burn OPs from a distance. Dingo and whoever Echo is, Echo Squad lead. But this is a good, you know, kind of a reset after losing a lot of ground pretty much on the WN4. You're maintaining this sector, which you do need to maintain. Nothing too much else after that. I think this is a SAP bombing run. I would say it's a little bit of a waste of a bombing run, but I do kind of understand that. It was probably called in before SAP's infantry and everything else was working. 76 coming in. Probably gonna wipe out this P4. I mean, at this stage of the game, first 15 minutes, if your P4 still up, you're doing a good job. It's only a matter of time before this P4 does die, as he does get shot in the butt with a rocket. And then down he goes. This is a little bit better though. And you still have guys right here, and guys slowly going up from the southern part of Grandma's house, but still being contested at Chapel. Honestly, if I was ROFS, placing the garrison back here would be mint. Be so mint. I don't know if they do. I think they probably place one somewhere in the south, but I don't know. I feel like that would be key. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so they do have one free garrison that they can utilize. Also, I would probably pre-drop supplies back over here at St. Marie as the commander. But that's just me, though, obviously. Every team has their own strats. It's kind of just a panic supply drop just in case things do go absolutely shit south. Tiger approaching. I don't think there's any OPs right here, which you do need if you are moving your tank up to this position. The reason being is it's radar coverage from anybody coming up this main road. Obviously Starbucks is here, but you know, you do want, you know, OP here or somewhere in this trench, and then obviously an OP there. You can get away with running across the fields. I think ANZR did that really good against us in the Summit round 5. Nice angle from both those tanks just pop one shot into each other. But this is what I mean. The SAP guys are hungry for this Tiger kill. Penguin and KD coming up. But yes, you do have an OP here, thank God. Probably not in the best spot because it's going to get burnt ASAP. Unfortunately for Penguin, already does kill them. When losing mid-cap on this point, how much resources would you commit to taking Chapel? I mean, it depends, because this is 40s snow. So it's... I think 40s is drastically different from 49s, just because it seemed like both teams ran 2 tank crews, and then I guess 1 flex tank crew, as people call it. So, I mean, right now, ROFS looks like they are fucked, kind of. I will be kind of blunt about that. They seem to be kind of fucked right now, as far as how this map looks. Obviously, there's still plenty of time to come, but especially with Legrand, you do want Chapel control. Obviously, ROFS are dedicating a good amount of resources to that, especially with QOP all the way in the south. Garrison trying to get built, but obviously being contested. It's really hard because of Legrand and WN4, because you don't want to lose any of this sector at all, because it's really hard to get back, because it is mostly open ground. And honestly, SAP are just kind of just walking to this free area. Like if SAP just back up a little bit, if SAP just got a regular SL to spawn right here and place down an OP, I don't know if this is where if that's still blue for them, or if that's still like 50 supply garrison spot for them. I think it is. Yeah, it is. That could be really problematic for Ross to deal with, but you know, they have a Tiger right here, so they think they'll be a-okay. Honestly, if you're this squad right here and you realize that your team, like, you guys have to communicate that, hey, we're getting pushed from the main road. You know, Judy has to say to his guys, hey, like 1 or 2 of you kind of push to the north and, you know, kind of connect this line just so you guys gain this ground back. But SAP are doing a really good job of just kind of holding what they need to hold, even though they are getting contested in the hard cap. Rep station does get destroyed by Artie. Proxy satchel goes down. I think that's a okay proxy satchel. I wish they would have put in this barn on this edge, just because this is where they're pushing from. Obviously, the hindsight is 2020. You don't know that really in the mid-match. ROFS is trying to deal with this Tiger or the 76 as well, but this front door for SaP, like all right here, it's a lot to commit in that area. And airheads, you really can't do too much with airheads on this point. Really, any of these points except for WN4 at the bottom of the map, you really can't do much with like an airhead play, in my personal opinion, unless you do have somewhat of a map control. Will you review the near 9PZ50 of Legion with guest Raider himself? No, because it wasn't casted. I love that AT gun spot from SaP. This is a smart AT gun spot. That is smart. I just don't know why no one's on it. You know, I would probably prefer if someone was on it so they can watch this gap right here for that Tiger, but I guess not. Because right now he could be shooting the Tiger right now. If someone was on that AT gun, SaP could be putting some real good damage onto that Tiger. Goofy ball with a nice, yeah, like 2 shots, 3 shots, like 2 shots could already be in this Tiger by now. And then if, you know, that guy would have won his engagements, maybe got the final blow onto that 76. Good use of the rocket from Papa Mike, realizing that Artie is coming down onto Duty's OP. Rum being a pest in the back lines. It's an odd spot to put 2 tanks, in my personal opinion, with no rep stations. Obviously one is repairing and one's been holding up here, but I think they're trying to maybe set up a double tap onto one of the Tigers. Unfortunate miss there from Rum, getting in a non-pen. At least killing the guy that's repairing. Again, SaP just collapsing down from Grandma's house. I think that was a P strike, which did do damage to the 76, just missed. Stuka is just terrible in this game. It needs to be reworked, in my personal opinion. That thing just does not hit. And then when Americans use P strikes, they just don't even hit on screen, but the tank still dies. Looks like Blake's. So this is okay. Here, ROFS, this is an okay situation to be in. Obviously, you have no far north garrison, but that's, you know, it's fine. You do still have control as long as your tank's not getting fucked from behind. Good defensive OPs allow around Legrand. Do have one backup just in case things do go to shit. Yeah, nothing too much to say here. Gonna eat dinner now. See you awake. See you, Snow. I'm not surprised you're eating dinner. Yeah, but this is the point where if you're ROFS, you're just trying to slowly gain some ground back. Good play there from that rifleman. Just focusing on the garrison and not the kill. I do like the reposition of this Tiger. I do love him repositioning a little bit. I would love to see just more guys on this hedge line right here, though, from ROFS. Obviously trying to deal with some backline stuff and still trying to hold the ground. Starbucks, good spot. Taking up this ground. You should, you know, mark that there's a AT gun here, but I don't know why SaP never used that AT gun, to be completely honest, but dear Starbucks, you know, take... I don't know if... Does he place his OP down? Do I flash my map here for a second? Does he place his OP down right here? Or does he just kind of, just die? Because if you're in this position, you know, place your OP down, get like satchels and AT guys to spawn onto it, and have a guy just throw smokes just to cover like these areas and just push the hell out of these tanks. I think no comms is going to satchel that AT gun. Why there's so many people in the backline right here, but I do understand that trying to take Grandma's can be a little bit of a rough point to take back. Good, they are throwing smokes to push onto the Tigers. I love to see that. Rum and Sirloin, I guess, are the Sapper boys. So at this point, you have North control, or you are contesting over who has North control. Just one SL from each team, but obviously most of it going to ROFS. If you're Starbucks, there's no reason for you to be trying to find this garrison over here. It's your goal is kind of just to stay alive, kind of where no comms is at, and have these guys right here. I should probably change colors. I'm gonna change it back to green. Have these guys has even a worse green. Jesus Christ. Going back to light green. I don't care at this point. Have these guys just kind of like spread around and try to find that garrison while you stay up here and protect your OP. I understand what he's trying to do right now is to put his OP, because he does place his OP to help deal with this tank. It's just that it's super exposed. As soon as like you get a spawn wave off of here, you can't do shit against this tank. It's a good flare by SaP. Just unfortunate, no comms does get run over. I think that's the end of that OP too. I think that is the end. Because then if you're still up where Goofy Ball is at, you still can get 1 or 2 more spawn waves to contest that area. Or at least just keep your OP right here as well. I just think that's a tad bit of aggressive. Like, obviously, like I always say in these, hindsight is 2020. It's just that going for a super aggro play, unless it actually pays out, it's usually not the best choice at all in most situations. I just think that was a little bit too aggressive, but especially in a 40v40, even 49v49, that much of an aggressive OP I think is just not good in the long run. Just because you also don't have this garrison down, and you're pretty exposed when you do spawn in. You know, if you do spawn in like kind of where Goofy Ball is at by these hedges on that road, at least you have some cover from an area. I mean, if people are gonna camp your OP for a spawn wave, that is what it is, but even still. Because also at this point, you know, the OP could still be up right here, but you also lost like all of this, and it's just it just looks depressing. Because now you have to spawn back at a garrison, and it's just we were, you know, up in the north having good control, and then everything just kind of fell apart. Now SaP has full control back over the north. You only had north control for probably 30 seconds, to be generous. I do love this spot from SaP. That is amazing. I can definitely see people camping there this weekend. (22/4) because as soon as you kind of lose that OP, this is where I said to myself in the game, like, dude, ROFS got completely kicked out of the sector. T-Bone with some nice frags, SaP doing what they have to do to just push ROFS out, and it's just like, it's a grind, dude. Like, just 3 OPs, and it's, you know, the opposite, you know, grid square of E4 that you basically have. Like, obviously, you still have, like, all of this control for the most part. Like, even though it's, like, you don't have it right now, it's just, it's all open ground. But it's, oh, dude, this run right here, if you are getting, you know, contested by a Tiger or a 76 and MGs and just other infantry, you know, it's tough. Like, if SaP takes this hedge, and they held this hedge, this this L shape right here, if they hold that and then have like backups right here, it's hard to take this ground back. It is hard to take this back. They're lucky they have Duty right here to at least try to contest. But still, like, Duty's gonna get overwhelmed. That's a terrible garrison spot from SAP, but maybe they just had some jumbled garrisons that they placed. But, you know, you kind of work with what you have to work with in most situations. Spoon giving Ski a bandage. Why are we playing automatic rifleman in comp? I do say STG is powerful. Yes, it is very, very powerful. But as people always say, that rockets support are the two most important ones. So if those are not filled up, I guess automatic rifleman, but even then, just play STG bot assault class. You know, unless you're loading up an OP, there's no point of playing rifleman, to be completely honest with you. Use rockets against infantry. It's more fun to get those kind of kills. It actually mind fucks the enemy team more than you think. I think dying to a rocket 2 times in a row is more annoying than dying to a SCG 2 times in a row, if I'm being honest. There's a very odd tank fight going on. The 76 right here. Don't know what's gonna happen. I totally forget what happens. Alright, I gotta stop pausing. Do love the southern push from SAP. I think one thing that honestly could have fucked ROFS up even more, if I do bring up my map, is instead of like a southern push, if they push directly from the blue line. I'll kind of show you guys that as soon as I come back to the map. Okay, so if instead of SAP kind of pushing from this area down here, because it's complete opposite of the point, I don't recommend teams doing this. Like, obviously, if it works for you, it works for you. If that's what you do, that's what you do for your strat. I'd honestly prefer to get like a garrison up or OPs back up here, and then you slowly harass their back lines and kind of erase this, and then also having to push up with your infantry up on the front line, because what it does, it will bottleneck all of these players right here from 2 different sides that they have to watch both, and then that's where you know, catch people off guard, looking the opposite way, you get shot in the back more often then. And it really just, you know, throws the other team for a loop. So maybe ROFS or SAP couldn't get back here, and that's totally understandable. You don't want to basically kind of wrap all the way around here, because that will take like 10 minutes to do, 8 minutes to do, and it's pretty boring and frustrating, because you could go all the way back here just to die, and it's, you know, at that point you were just basically worthless that entire time. Or even dropping an airhead back there. I think that's one thing that SCP could have done. I'll just go back to the map. Is if they drop an airhead like all the way back here, there's no one that's going to get back here in time. Maybe right when it spawns they'll get back there. But if they just drop an airhead back there, maybe 1 or 2 SLs spawn that airhead, you know, defend it for a little bit, and then have, you know, the goon squad come up. That's all you need to do for that airhead. Now, you know, everyone sees the airhead and they want to spawn on it. Hopefully that doesn't happen with most teams, but I've seen like 30 people spawn off an airhead in a 49s game before just to lose mid then. Donut gets the kill. Amrata gets the refrag. I think SAP up until this point have done a good job, you know, kind of holding Chapel, to be honest. Like, they have held like this line for, I would say, 7 or 8 minutes at this point, give or take, flipping back and forth throughout the game. But, you know, this is good from them. I just wish they maybe had a garrison back here, because if they do have like a hidden garrison somewhere back here, or even down here in the south, they'll just have maybe a few SLs come back up and then slowly, you know, counter flank their push to grandmas. And that's really all you need to do, is just have that southern blue zone garrison to counteract their push. Yeah, because if you just have like a garrison down here for SAP, you can just like, you know, slowly move back up and like take all this ground out while also providing pressure to Legrand. All right, I need to actually speed this up because I want to eat food soon. Hashtag snow. I will watch this entire thing. I'm not gonna skip too much, but this was a good double tap from SAP. You guys missed that? I think it was a double tap, right? Yeah, it was a double tap. Like, that was just beautifully timed. Really good play from them. That tank was kind of just screwed. I just don't think it's a good tank position, to be honest, even to begin with. I mean, but I think they were just backed up into that corner anyways. You are going to play somewhere like on, you know, this side of the map, this section. Probably best to play back here, to be honest, even though you don't provide that much support. But, you know, sometimes given the game situations, that's what you're, you know, backed up into. Also, I think ROFS didn't really build any AT guns this game, and that's a little surprising, to be honest. I think that's one thing that ROFS also does lack as a team, is the AT gun play a little bit. Cap starts on 4th, good flare. I think the Recon SL does have an OP behind them, but another 76 coming up, or Tiger's coming up. I don't know what is happening with this 76 right here, of why he's getting so aggressive. I do love this aggression play, though. I just think you just go to this hedge, and that's it. I don't agree with where he went, but I think if he just would have held this hedge, like right here, and then, you know, he gets shot once, he can back up safely behind cover, and then his other his other 76 can come at an angle and help challenge this Tiger then. And then he's just kind of fucked Gaza with, I think that was Gaza, I don't know. A nice rocket from behind, but didn't matter. That tank was good as dead. I just think that's, you just threw your armor away from there if you are SAP. Because now this tank is all by his lonesome. You know, he could have, you know, held behind here. This tank probably could have moved up right here and then helped challenge this Tiger tank. I keep getting Tigers and 76s confused. Whatever, I don't care. It's my stream. I don't know why that garrison is just chilling right there still. I think it got destroyed and got replaced there, but it's just weird to see a garrison open in the middle of a field. Dingle STG binding it up. Easy. Again, SAP just still controlling Grandma's house. Just chilling. I'm just kind of letting this play through. I really don't have too much to say. Just kind of micro fighting. I do love the attempt here from Raz to at least try to set up his OP behind this tank, but it will just get burned. Watching this battle of the SLs. Good kill from Starbucks. And this is smart from Starbucks. This is really smart for him, just holding this position. And this is what a lot of, I think, comp players get confused in games, is if you don't have numbers, you will not take ground. Like Starbucks, like if he moves up here and dies, SAP just basically reclaims all this ground. But for him just to hold by this tank, he gets more cover just so he can peek out and maybe challenge T-Bone. but you know, he can re-peek over here to make sure no one moves up to this range. So like right now he is in control of all of this ground and behind him, so that is a good play from him because he's the only one that's like up here. But it's good for him to hold that so people don't get, you know, don't push up even more and take ground back. Here, ROFS here again. Don't know why you're playing automatic rifleman. Just bring out a rocket. Bring out a rocket. You know, challenge this 76. Even if you get one shot off onto it and die, even if it's in the tracks, you know, you're making the tank crew panic. You know, just because you're not doing, you know, actual damage to it, I mean, you're German AT. You can pen the side of it and do damage. Even if it's a ricochet, you're still making the tank, you know, worry about another angle instead of worrying about a tank. That 76 just blow up somehow? I think it did. Okay, maybe disregard what I just said. I have no idea what just happened. An AT gun built in the middle of the road for some reason. Didn't see that before. Thing from Gaza. I don't know where he shot that rocket. I think he might be trying to get an OP, which is smart from him. And this is starting to look a little bit better from ROFS now. I do love this a little bit of an overcommit. I think that's one thing that teams do lack in this game is when they, you know, maybe see a little bit of a weak spot or a power position that the enemy is holding, maybe do like a extra like 3-man overcommit just to gain that ground and have them flex back. But again, this is all due Gaza and all them moving up, even though they are dying and getting fragged out. This ground that they gained is from Starbucks holding this ground and just maintaining it. Because if he dies, they can just push back up and take that. But, you know, obviously they all do die, but, you know, they did challenge that for a little bit, so... Yeah, he does have his OP there now, so they are taking the ground. Tank fight commences. Gaza's playing medic for some reason. I think for the smokes. Not my first choice, but... Not a good spot for SAP's tank to honestly move in. Again, you don't have anybody here, even though this is all free for ROFS. Change colors back to blue. Medic is meta. It is meta. Flamethrower's better. So you guys, you know, the overcommit does work, and you do take Grandma's house right here. This is good. That was a good, I guess, overcommit, because I feel like you guys did overcommit there finally. And now it's just a matter of you guys holding Grandma's house and having these guys challenge this garrison spawn. I think it's a garrison spawn, or maybe it's just, I think it's just an OP spawn. Bombing run is coming in. I guess, is that SAP's bombing run? Yes, it is. Not terrible, but just odd. I do love how SAP is using Arty this game. I think SAP Arty was utilized pretty well. I don't know what this 76 is doing. Good shot by Sirloin and that tank, though. That is a amazing pause. Rom playing STG bot boy, which is fine because I think they're loaded up on their OP, so, you know, is what it is. Airhead is being called in. I don't know where it is being called in, though. Honestly, if you're going to call in an Airhead, call it in, like, right here. The reason being is, you know, SAP's having to deal with guys pretty much all right here. Like, call it in a safe spot. Right here's the safest spot to call it in. Now, it's good that you actually called it in because they blew their load on their bombing run. So the only thing that really can affect it is any other explosive in the game, and you know, grenades might not be as effective because there's really no one with nades in the area, and or just already farms it. I just don't think the Airhead was called in a good spot, just because, yeah, T-Bone's just gonna mark it right away. I think this is where you guys actually do, or ROFS does even cap the point. Oh, it was a mistake input? Okay. Which is I think you guys do this twice, though. This is their first Airhead. I think you guys do it again. I think you still, I think, cap the point off of this Airhead. I just would have put it back here. Just because, like, yeah, people are gonna spawn in the barbed wire. I don't care. Like, I don't think anybody cares. I mean, obviously you will if you do spawn onto it, but it's just a lot safer. They do have to, like, go out in the open, like, all right here, and then I guess right here is a little bit more covered, but it's just a little bit safer. Putting it's in an easy spot to destroy, in my personal opinion. Again, that overcommit onto Graham is the main reason, and also Starbucks holding his OP onto that point. Now, did Starbucks lose his OP back here? I think he might have. Because one thing that you guys still want to do is, instead of just fucking bum rushing it towards this way, is to spawn out the Airhead, but also go this way. Obviously, you're gonna die to Artie here and there. That's, you know, is what it is. But you still need someone to hold this road, because people are gonna be spawning in from the top of that 2-story house. Yeah, see, like, that MG just spawned there. And you set up more of a crossfire too when you do have people down here. I mean, you're doing it already from Grandma's. It's just that, you know, there's no one from the south or from the north. And this commander's getting away with it too because there's no crossfire from the north. Like, Lolo should have gone in the south, in my personal opinion. He's just trying to get in the hard cap, which is totally understandable. Just, you know, you want to get the cap over map control for the most part in most situations, but Tiger's at least guarding it with the coax, which is nice to see. Cap does flip towards ROFS. Garrisons immediately go down, which is good to see. And here comes the infamous half-track play that I was so confused when I saw all these people spawn back here. It's like, yeah, there's a half-track here. Again, since you have no one up here in the north, like, maintaining this road, that's where all of SAP are flooding in from. And, like, you know that they're gonna be flooding up in there anyways, because they're gonna have a garrison up in this corner anyways. So, like, you know that they're still gonna be holding this, so you still need to hold this ground. And SAP are doing a good job of maintaining that with that half track and garrison. Someone's using a flamethrower, which I love to see. Look at that shit, dude. That's amazing. Just gets gunned down by a coax. Oh, I love fucking flamethrowers, dude. So good in certain situations. So situational, but when it's in that perfect situation, it is way better than any gun in the game. Go to work, Rum. Don't like that OP spot from SAP. Probably should have placed it back here. Probably, I don't even know. It's just, I get it. Like, you want to get guys moved up more, but if he just walks right here, it's burned. I do see Whispers of Death moving in. This is a good Sabo OP from SAP. Where's the ROFS tanks at? Do they just have the 76 on point? Or the Tiger on point? Where's the second 76 or at least second tank crew? Oh, it's also on point. I don't like that. Okay, you need to challenge the north with at least one of these tanks. I mean, you get plenty of cover still for the most part. You can see on the recon right there that there is a vehicle up there. So I would personally shift Artie, just put 2 or 3 rounds on top of that truck, because you don't know if it's a supply truck or if it's a half truck or what. Given that they still have good control, I assume it's still it's some sort of spawn at least. Maybe it's a Jeep. Maybe you're one closer to the achievement. I also think you guys dedicated maybe... That's so unfortunate. Build that rep station, immediately destroyed. I just think these tanks are just waiting to die at this point. This is scary, to be honest. But they are doing hard cap control, which is, I guess, okay. Bombing run on the red-blue line. Will take out the garrison, which is fine, but they still have the half track there. And SAP is still doing a good job of holding the ground that they really do need to hold. You know, if they hold this, there's still potential for a recap on the WN4 if they don't have anything else. As long as they have some sort of north, they could fight their way back into this game. No matter what. This is like one of those points where, like, if you don't clear out their sector, there's still a chance for them to come back and win. So this is really good from SAP, just still maintaining that north, not letting ROFs slip by. Now ROFs are finally moving up north, kind of. I personally wish Ski was an SL just to place an OP right here. I don't know how you don't mark this as a half track if you're Starbucks, to be honest. I'm sorry to call it Starbucks so many times this stream, but I just spent a lot of time up in this cap. Like, call it out. Like, Goofy Ball, instead of challenging this, just place the satchel on this building. That's all you have to do. I'm pretty sure you lock it out too if you are on this side of the wall. Maybe he was getting shot by this guy? Does he? No, he does not. But he will get shot anyways. But, like, he would have placed the satchel down. Like, he's dead anyways to Starbucks. So if he just prones and places a satchel, that's an easy, you know, kill. But since he didn't place the satchel down, they still get spawns onto it. I think Ski is recognizing it, but it's kind of already too late. They're dead, but, you know, at this point, just call Artie onto it. Bullet working the back lines with his... Now, this is a fat finger of the Airhead, but it honestly kind of works into their favor still, because they were getting flagged. So it kind of helps them. It's better to call it on your, you know, defensive point than your fourth point, I guess. Yeah, definitely was a misclicked Airhead. God, it's going so fast, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, this tank is just asking to die. If you're gonna rep, just rep behind this hedge. Like have like the nose of the tank just be like right here or something. Just so like they don't sneak around you that easily. Because if he was like in this position where he died to begin with, there would have been a greater chance that this AT player does die, or Duty can save him from getting shot in the butt. Because he does end up killing him right after, but You know, it's a small little thing, but maybe that tank was, you know, half out of ammo anyways. I'm just surprised that ROFS didn't bring any tank in the north, because they were dealing with stuff in the north for a while. Do love this Greyhound play from SaP, just kind of throwing it out there and it almost pays off. But if you're SaP, you do have to get on the aggressive side, since you do have ROFS on the ropes here. Like, if you're SaP, just fucking chuck grenades, place a proxy satchel, like, on this side of the barn or something. I don't know where that 76 is going. I don't know where you're going, dude. Like, you're just asking to get shot. Oh my god, this looks terrible. I mean, it's still fine. It's just that you have to recognize that you don't have the north yet. And that's how you lose WN4 as Axis, if you do have it, is you don't have control of the north. I think SaP called in the Airhead, no? I think they did. Yeah, they do right here. I do like that Airhead from SaP. I just think it's a little bit more exposed than it should be. I critique a lot of Airheads in my days doing this, but Airhead should probably be somewhere back here or back here where it's a little bit more in cover. Just because it is harder for ROFS to destroy, because, you know, Blitzkrieg, you know, he sees the Airhead land right here. All it takes is one rocket and the Airhead is dead. Double satchel onto the 76. Good play getting that double satchel on. I just don't think that tank was in the proper position. Just stay on the main road. Artie's doing a good job just splashing that OP and that Airhead. I think Grenade took out that OP. Chris doing a smart play. Very smart play from him, placing the satchel. So I think it does blow up the Airhead. Yep, does blow up the Airhead, so that is a good play from him. Wipes out any other spawns. Rama finally placing the satchel onto that half track. Don't know why you're prone in the middle of the ground, but you are. And like immediately when Rum has this control, I would still hold this if I were you. I think you were responding to someone in the back, but I would still hold this up here since you do have it. Maybe just hold like, you know, that half wall. Just to make sure, like, because you don't know if this garrison is still up or not. Maybe you do if it's down. And then call like 2 SLs up there ASAP. Because you don't know if they still have a spawn, if they still have OPs or not up there, because they could. Because then what you can do is once you get this control, you just pinch down, and then these guys pinch this way, and you collapse. It's an unfortunate death by that strafing run. Because now this is where everything just goes to shit. Because everyone's just kind of just everywhere. Love this pistol play, just unfortunately does die. I like this garrison down here. Personally, I like putting them down right in this red-blue line, but that's pretty typical. Honestly, it's hard because you kind of do want an on-point Gary for WN4. It's just one of those points where you kind of do want one. Because you'd still want one in the north just to maintain north control in case you do lose it a little bit. So I would maybe shift the Garys around. It's just hard to have a good Gary network at WN4 when you're Axis. I think SAP at this point is Garys are shit for us right here. I can tell. So I think SAP is low on fuel because they only have 176 coming out of the HQ. I personally like holding this hedge right here in a tank. That's just me though. Or you just hold this building. This position is fine as well. It's just that if they have a 76, honestly, at hard cap looking this way, they could have an angle on you. I'm not quite sure. But I would have placed the garrison like right here. Map edge or even... Oh, no, you do have one right there. How did you sneak that one in there? Is that your garrison? Hold up. You guys somehow sneaking the Gary? Yeah, you do. Good job. Holy shit. I did not realize that when I was watching this back. God damn it. Why do I flash the map for 2 seconds? Did you just, like, remove the Gary on point? Yeah, you did. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Well, you also just fucked yourself by placing the Gary at Grandma's. You want to place it between this pink road and this waterway. You want to place it, like, right there so you can get one on point. That's where you fucked up. That's where you fucked up. Okay, we're not watching this rest of this in 1.75 times speed. Like, even though that southern garrison by Grandma's is in a terrible spot all the time as Axis, it's something you still need to, like, put down. Like, if it goes red or if it goes gone, you just know people are down there. Maybe you do get one on point, or am I just tripping? Do you guys actually, like, do a good job of Gary network stuff? If I look at the map more than 2 seconds, somehow Penguin gets up there. God damn it, I didn't pause. I don't care at this point. Shit. I gotta stop flashing the map. I don't know how this OP does not get burned. Okay, so this is a decent Gary network. I just don't know where the on-point Gary's at. I would still have a reflank one down here, though, to be honest, but that's just me. Would still have like an on-point SL, like, right there as well. Again, I'm mostly doing this for ROFS' side of things just because I did catch for them. I'm trying to give as much feedback for SAP as possible as well. I mean, that's just unfortunate that an SL got a OP inside the point. And then I think it throws you guys for a loop a little bit. Like, somehow this OP is still up. I think Lolo finally burned it, but the SL Raz still chilling. Stewie just running around the back lines, not having a care in the world. I think this is where the game gets extremely good. I think one thing that does happen in this game is ROFS kind of freaks out that they lose this on-point Gary, so they send people from up here down, and it just causes SAP just to kind of just walk in the front door then. You still need people watching front door. Not everyone needs to react. Raz is just being an absolute rat right now, but he is lighting up an OP. Yeah, they're just walking in front door. Because everyone's just spawning north. Like, you lost control on Grandma's. That's why I like that reflank area in the far south, just because you can just send 2 SLs, have them get in the position, and have people flex back to their OPs. Like, you guys still have Grandma's control somehow. I don't know what the hell just happened, but, you know, having a garrison down here, it's easier for them, instead of running from here, just to run back up north. Because you can just clear out any OPs that are, you know, down here possibly. Just Just everything just looks shit on point, to be honest. But SaP doing what they have to do to try to win the game. I think a proxy satchel just somehow killed that tiger. I don't know what the hell's happening now. Somehow the Stewart's still alive. Sledgehammer, the only person on screen except for Gaza, way far away with AT. I get it, but still. This is a heck of a play from this Stewart. That is unfortunate as hell that an Airhead lands right in front of a Stewart, too. I'll do R22 tomorrow. I'm doing that tomorrow. I'm doing this one now, R22R, then on Wednesday I'm doing the game I casted yesterday. I just didn't have time last week. I ran into some personal stuff. I think Tiger ran over his own teammate to kill that Stewart, which is A-okay with me. This Tiger just needs to hold kind of where Venom died, just right here in this little box. Just hold these angles right here. Just because that's where they're all coming from, is that southern barn. Is that a SaP bombing run? Oh, it can't be. That has to be ROFS. I mean, that spot works too. I just don't like how far you went into the barbed wire. Because I think you still can technically get satcheled on the barbed wire. It's fine, but if you just are out of reach of the barbed wire where you can't get the satchel onto your tank, that's even better. But you guys do recover, so that is good. Somehow an SaP rep station finally gets blown up. No comms, should have placed the satchel on this barn. I do love the tank position right here, just to clean up some people. I'm surprised no one was MG in this house to watch the barn, to be honest. Yeah, there's just no one there. Like, obviously it's being contested, so you're kind of worried about getting killed in the back, but even just having an MG would have helped, in my personal opinion. I do love this. I love SaP's OPs. This is a really good OP from SaP. It's in a safe-ish spot. You know, not where you typically will find an OP, especially as allies when you don't have this point. So it's like nice backdoor pressure because they can pressure from inside the barn or around to the other side of the barn or wherever they want to go. So it is a good OP from SaP. I do love that. But it is also in front of a Tiger tank. So it's yeah, see, this is good. This is a really good play from the tank crew. Would still be on this side of the fence, not crossing over because they can just hop up into the trench and still get a satchel on, but I think you are backing up, so that is a smart play. I think I checked for a satchel, but unfortunately did not get it, and that OP will get burned. So a little unfortunate for SaP's side of things, but I do love that play from them. But the match is still not over. They are calling the house back onto defense. The fact that 2 SLs or 3 SLs are back here is just showing how dedicated SaP was in the backlines. Bullet just being an absolute rat this entire game. I think I said that multiple times in the stream. I do love how he's crawling too, dude. That is hilarious. But I think this is like the first time ROFS having really good control and dedicating the right amount of manpower to certain spots is paying off for them now. But SaP are just chucking smokes and just pushing up the point. And this is like the power of allied smokes, dude. This is something you just don't see that often. Just smokes just being utilized to full effect. And they're just gaining ground back with ease. And then in the backlines too. So it kind of just completely flips the script of what I just said. Again, I just wish like there was an MG in this house just to watch this. Like, yeah, you're not watching the immediate like pressure, but it's still important. Like, again, it is 40v40, so you're gonna have less people regardless. You know, you do have an MG up here watching all the way up here, which you do need. But I would still have like an MG around like this southern side to at least you have some sort of crossfire. I mean, you can't really get an angle right here with that, but you know, you can get, you know, some sort of crossfire right here and right here, and that's still good areas to have, and everybody else can just frag out with STGs and Gewehr's or MP40. Yeah, because SAP is just kind of dogpiling right now. Down goes one of the Tigers, and then that is kind of the indicator for SAP to see what they can do in the last 10 minutes. This is where shit just gets really fucking hectic. This has gone a lot longer than I actually wanted it to be. I wanted this to be like 45 minutes, but it turned into over an hour. I don't know exactly where this airhead is called in. Honestly, not a bad airhead spot, all things considered. It's kind of hard for SAP to call in an effective airhead here. I couldn't even find it, but they destroyed it. They're on it and they destroy it. So, I mean, airhead's still a gamble. I mean, they had a Lux there still. They still have a 76 on point. I don't think I really look too much else other than all of this on screen. I mean, it's a gamble airhead play. I mean, they don't work all the time. This was a clutch play from Robert, getting 2 kills with the pistol and then defusing the satchel. That's just so unfortunate that this Luke's died, because he could just stay behind him and just harass the 76 then. Just so unfortunate that his Lux went into that trench the way he did. I would not have called this airhead in, even though it still kind of pans out because you guys still do hold the point. But if SAP would have capped there, that airhead would have disappeared. Because it basically counts as a garrison spawn until it actually gets destroyed or does go down. But it still does pan out for you guys. For ROFS' sake. I mean, SAP's just throwing everything that they can. Tank gets satcheled, but I mean, there's nothing he could have done, just dies to another tank. I mean, they could have placed the airhead back here, but it's kind of tough to say because airheads are just always gambles. And that kind of just seals the game, because then I think ROFS does start cap onto 4th, and they still have cap onto 4th. I mean, it's the final minute. You're just trying to see what you can do. I personally would have just, I don't know what I would have done there if I was that medium, because you're just kind of fucked from this tank and this tank right here. You know, it's just, you know, you try to do what you can. It's kind of hard to maintain everything, and then, you know, ROFS just sends people back onto AA battery, flood that OP. SAP still trying to attack because, you know, you have to, but at the same time you have to protect your defense. But I think ROFS wins every single engagement here, which is honestly a little surprising, because if they just get, you know, if they just kill Rom, Gaza, and then I think pretty much that it being it, and then Taco is still alive, and these 3 just get into the hard cap, they do defend. Because maybe Reinforce was down, I don't know, but you know, ROFS just winning all their engagements that they need to win. and they easily do cap the point. I am surprised that there was no garrison in the south here to at least alleviate some of the cap pressure, or even in the north. Then yeah, it just flips to 4-1 ROFs. And I pretty much think that is the game. I don't think anything else is too much to note here because, I mean, AA I think is one of the more rougher fourth points to cap on this map, compared to a lot of the other ones, just because 90% of this is all open field. Like, you have all of this that you do have to worry about, and or not even worry about, but to cross if you're allies. Yeah, just a frag fest now. I don't think I look at the map one more time. Yes, I do. Okay. I just flash it for 2 seconds. See if I can pause it. I mean, nothing really much to know. I think I'll just maybe just say my final thoughts here because the game will just wrap up. I just think, for ROFS' sake, that half track in the north, I think, is the main reason why SAP were still in this game to the very, very end, until like the last like 5 minutes or so, until you guys kept fourth. Like, if you just take out that and then send like 2 SLs here, you kind of alleviate most of your problems after that. I mean, you still have people being ratty in the back lines, but that's always going to happen in every single comp game. People are going to get in your back lines no matter what. Just how you deal with them and how effective you do deal with them. Yeah, that half track needed to go a lot sooner. For SAP's sake of thing, they did a really good job of boxing ROFs out, like, in the first half hour of the game, and I was fairly impressed with them. But I just think they overcommitted one too many times to maintaining Grandma's house, and the reason why ROFs did cap that back is they overcommitted themselves to Grandma's, and then as well as still open up the front door. Now, you know, shit does happen. It's 40s. It's kind of new to both these teams, so I mean, this was the first week, so we'll see how that does play out, but I would not be surprised to see these two teams in the finals, to be completely honest, or seeing each other in the playoffs. And if they do play each other again, I think it's going to be another good game. But that's pretty much going to be it for me. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing this again, but for R22R and L90. And then on Wednesday I'll be doing it for 48th and Panzerlier. I'm only going to do these for games that I casted, just because I don't want to watch a full 90-minute game ahead of time. That's just me, or seeing stuff on the fly for the first time. I just don't like doing that. I just like doing things post that I kind of remember in the back of my head. It's just easier to point things out and just key moments. But maybe down the line, if people do want to do it, we'll do a cast that I didn't do, just a random game here and there. But yeah, so that's going to be it for me, guys. So thank you all for watching, and until next time, see you tomorrow.